Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. Alright, this is getting interesting, and if you're one of the people who just wants to sit back and watch Caitlin Clark hoop this season, this update is, let's just say, complicated. Because now it's starting to feel like the CBA talks might actually be moving, but not necessarily in a smooth, clean, everybody's happy type of way. This is messy. Real messy. There was an interview on ESPN where they kept some player names confidential, but those players were very clear about one thing. The season is not expected to start on time. That's major. That's not speculation. That's players saying, yeah, this might not go how y'all think. And then you've got Brianna Turner speaking on the situation too, and you can just tell there's tension, there's uncertainty, there's a split somewhere in that locker room energy across the league. They're asking players straight up, can you afford a lockout? Do you believe there's going to be a season? That's not small talk, that's serious. Because here's the truth. Everybody is not in the same financial position. Everybody can't just sit out comfortably. Some players can weather a delay, others, not so much. So when you hear all this "we're united" and "we're on one accord," you've got to look a little closer, because the reviews on these confidential CBA negotiations are mixed. And mixed means not everybody's on the same page. And meanwhile, fans just want to see Caitlin Clark ball out. Instead, we're sitting here wondering if there's even going to be a season on time. This is wild. Now, this took place at Athletes Unlimited in Tennessee. Here it says, players run up and down a basketball court in a converted concert hall, preparing for their first full weekend of games with Athletes Unlimited. Ogwimike sits in a chair along the baseline as balls swish through the net above her. With less than 3 months to go until the WNBA season is scheduled to start, CBA negotiations remain deadlocked on the issues of salary structure and revenue sharing. The Women's National Basketball Players Association president has arrived in Nashville with Union Executive Director Terry Jackson. They're here to debrief the players, many of whom exist outside the WNBA spotlight, on developments in their quest for a transformational collective bargaining agreement. All right, now we're getting to the juicy part. What I'm about to read is a direct quote from WNBAPA Executive Committee Treasurer Brianna Turner, and yeah, this is where things heat up. Indiana Fever fans are probably listening real close right now, because after this comment, some folks are seriously questioning whether she even fits with this team moving forward. Here said, "It feels like it's not imminent at this point," Executive Committee Treasurer Brianna Turner told ESPN. "It's still early February, like we're still going, so I feel like we're still in a waiting game at the moment." Early? Girl, it's almost March. March! The calendar is not playing around. Time is ticking, and this isn't some far-off situation anymore. Do you not see the timeline here? Do you not understand? All right, here said, the league did send a revised proposal February 6th that reportedly included concessions on housing and facility standards, but did not include a significant change in revenue sharing. Look here. All right. Now, here's where we get to the confidential Q&A with different players. Okay, this is a confidential Q&A. Said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that there will be a full WNBA season? Players gave a wide range of responses to this question, but they landed on cautious optimism that the season could start on time May 8th. The average score was a 6.1. One pessimistic outlier answered with a 2. The most common answer was a 5, which sums up the general shoulder shrug vibe as negotiations have stalled. So players are not confident that this is going to take place. They really don't know. Here's an answer. Someone said, I think we're going to have a season. I don't know if it'll be the whole season. What? So let me get this straight. Y'all already know what's up. You're getting constant emails, constant calls from the WNBAPA Executive Committee, and the vibe is basically, yeah, don't expect this thing to start on time. That's what players are being led to believe? Come on, man, that's crazy. The way this is being handled feels chaotic. This is wild work. I feel like this player was quoted as saying, "I feel like we're asking for a lot. I know we deserve it, but at the same time, it's kind of like we're kind of getting greedy. We're doing a lot of asking. I feel like we need to do a lot of doing." Whoa, hold up. Did you hear that? Whoever said that basically just put the WNBAPA on blast, flat out, saying it feels like greed is driving this. That's a strong statement. That's not subtle. That's frustration boiling over. And when players start talking like that publicly, you know things behind the scenes are tense. This is getting crazy. Now, next one here said, "I'm going to lean more towards the positive side, so I'm going to say an 8, because I know the amazing people we have to support us, the women in the negotiating chairs." Said, "Full W season? I feel pretty confident. Full? I feel like a 9. Okay, here's another question. How would a loss of a WNBA paycheck affect you? Now here said, who knew that some of the world's most elite basketball players were also first-class money managers? Most players said they'll be all right, with or without the W stacks. Now, player reply, "I'm not making an insane amount for it to be a really big deal. Fortunately, I've been around these last few years and been able to make more off-court, but I still want it. I'm fighting to have another year in the league. I would love to have a season where I'm able to make more money and really just feel even more comfortable in life and be able to do more for my family." Now really listen to what she said. "I'm trying to fight for another year in the league." That tells you everything. This is a veteran, someone who's been around, collected checks, had time to stack money and build security. That's a different position. But what about the rookies? The second and third round picks barely holding on to roster spots? What about that second rounder from last year who needs her second-year deal to survive? She doesn't have years of savings tucked away. She needs this season. She needs those checks. That's the part people aren't talking about, and it's nasty work. Here said, "I've done a good job about saving up just in case that scenario does happen. I'm super casual, so yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be in a good position. It would impact me immensely. It's my job, so it would be a big deal." Someone said, "I'm pretty set up off the court, so it wouldn't. If it's the W paycheck we make now, it wouldn't bother me. If it's a big W paycheck and an upgrade, I could use it." And let's be real here. What the WNBA owners have reportedly put on the table is being described as a major upgrade. That's not a small tweak. That's a significant offer. But this anonymous Q&A, it's showing cracks. It's showing that players are not fully aligned. Not everybody is riding the same wave. And that's all this is doing. It's exposing the divide. It's pulling the curtain back and letting us see that this united front might not be as united as it sounds. Someone said, "I have a lot of endorsements in NIL, so I wouldn't say that would really impact me. But I would say the inability to play the sport that you love will affect a lot of players, because some of us really, really love the sport of basketball. And being able to go out there and play, that's what we've been doing our whole life." Someone else said, "I was very fortunate that my family has taught me good financial advice and saving and investing. I have money saved up. I'm okay. But I also know that not everyone is in my position." Here said, "Money is money. I would love my paycheck." Everybody not on the same page with this. They can try to slice it and dice it and confuse people and make it seem like anything else. That's cap. Look here said, "On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious are you feeling about negotiations?" Someone said, "I think the league and owners just feel that we're going to just sign, and we're not. We're going to just sit out if that's the case. Like, we deserve it." I ain't worried about it. Like, it's either going to happen or it's not. I can't worry about it. Not going to stress myself over something I can't control. I have a good level of faith and understanding of what's going on with those that are on our executive committee. They know what they're talking about, and we're on the same page. Now look, this very important. Do you feel represented in these negotiations as someone who is not among the top tier of WNBA earners? Said, for every max salary player, there's somebody making the league minimum. Their CBA needs are not the same, and they know it. Some player quoted, "Yes and no. I feel like power comes with the hype behind your name or like the meaning behind your name. But at the same time, it's kind of like, hey, think about us. I know you guys are top earners, but at the end of the day, you also need us. There could be no league." That's a player talking, not a blogger, not a rumor, a player. And what she's basically saying is that some of the star names like Nafisa Collier and Kelsey Plum might be focused primarily on the max contract tier. Okay, someone else said, right now, yes, I do. Especially being at Athletes Unlimited, having conversations with people on the executive committee, conversations I've had with NECA. I feel like this representation is very different than the last CBA negotiations. We're being louder. I feel like people had concerns in the last CBA, but kind of were stumped out by the 1%ers, I call them. But I feel like this time around, we're holding firm. Okay, let's go here. How informed do you feel about the CBA negotiations? Someone said, I feel very informed right now. I'm always open to sit down and learn and be educated about it. I don't know about the league side. I know the players, we are very 100% confident in what we stand on. Someone else said, I feel like they need to help us out with just a little more. They need to break it down, not dumb it down, but just make it concise and simple. The younger generation's attention span is a little bad. But this is wild. Straight up wild, because what this Q&A just did was peel the curtain back. It exposed that these players are not fully aligned. They're not all on the same page when it comes to the CBA situation. And for one of them to openly say the WNBPA is being greedy, not cautious, not strategic, greedy. That's a serious accusation. That tells you there's frustration bubbling underneath the surface. So now the question becomes, how divided is this locker room really? Y'all get down in the comments and tell me what you think about all this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share.